Hi, welcome for our online training sessions. We are going to talk about payment process request in this particular session. Payment process request is basically when you would like to go for make the payment for selected invoices and bill the payments and then go for distribute that. It's a very common requirement when we are working in the projects. We are supposed to configure this for the clients with different selection criteria. So what I'm trying to do is here, I'm going to create a new supplier. If you want to make the payments only for that particular supplier invoices, first priority, we can filter those amount, those invoices we can go for select. Okay, so let me just log in as a buyer. We are going to log in with buyer name because if we want to create a new supplier, then obviously we are supposed to go with as a buyer because supplier site we cannot go for it. Let me take implementation login here. This is to perform the transactions. We are going to use implementation user who is having the access for both invoice workbench as well as the payment workbench. And another user I'm using, Calvin Roth. He is a buyer and he is associated with the business unit called the US1 business unit. Now we have this business unit here. Now I am going to issue the reset password. Let me log in with the buyer first and let me go for create. But before we start creating the supplier, make sure that your supplier approvals are automatic or not, because when you try to create a supplier, system will send again approval notification to the managers. Then again, we need to find who is that. So instead of that, better go for, create a supplier. Let's just log into this option here. Okay, approval management. Go to approval management. It takes just a couple of minutes, not more than that. We are working with the spend authorized approvals. Let's go to supplier spend authorization approvals. And then one option is enabled approval. Let's go to edit rules here. And it's automatic, so no problem. Let's go for check the second one, supplier internal profile request that we are going to verify here. Let's supplier profile change approvals. It's also automatic. Let's go for save and close. That's fine. Let's log in as a buyer first. Let's complete our supplier and supplier setup process here. Times we'll get this type of issues with the server. Just you have to remove after .com whatever URL is there, so that the page will be refreshed in the application here. Now let's go for create supplier here. Why am we are taking new supplier? Why don't we take existing supplier? Is if we take existing supplier might have some number of invoices and all, right? So that's the reason. If we take a new supplier, then we can easily understand how the payment process request will work. Okay, so let's go to our tab here, procurement. I'm going to create a new supplier. Let's go to suppliers here. Let's go for creation of new supplier here. I'm going to take the supplier name as here Sony Electronics, and business relationship spend authorized. Tax organization is corporations. Let's go for create this here. Showing that this Sony Electronics, there is already one supplier. That relationship is customer, not the supplier directly. So there is some matching. If you want to ignore match results and create a supplier, you can go ahead. Otherwise, you can cancel and change the supplier information. So what system is trying to do is it's compared any duplicate supplier is exist. That's what it is showing. I'm going ahead with Sony instead of Tony. We'll go ahead with Tata Motors. And it's spend authorized corporation. Let's go for create. Supplier is done. Let's go for create an address here. And I'm going to create supplier address here. Uh, Motors, USA. Let's go for the country United States. I'm going to make this addresses for RFQ or bidding purpose so that we can send RFQ as well as quotations to the supplier, and also we can go for create the ordering purpose. Let's go for save and close. The moment whenever we create supplier as well as the supplier site, sorry, supplier address, system is going to send the notification for approval. If automatic approval is there, then it's fine. It's automatically approved over here. It is. It's done. When we go for sites now, it will shows that an address must exist before creating a site, but address we have already created, but it's not approved so far. When it wait for a couple of minutes, already we have tested its supplier approvals are automatic, not any supervisor hierarchy or job hierarchy or any approval group approvals. We got it's automatic approval, right? So we'll be able to find it here. Tata Motors, we can find here the icon. It's a profile change request is pending for this supplier. So we have seen already it's approved, right? Auto approval. Then why we have here? Let's go for search. Takes couple of minutes, not more than that. Now we can find that the supplier and supplier address has been created successfully. Now for this supplier, I'm going to create a supplier site. Now he is the buyer. He's working for the business unit called US1 business unit. So we can create site. We have already address. Now we don't find that warning message. Now we'll be able to create a supplier site here. Okay. So let's go for create supplier site here. choose the address name, and I'm mentioning that it's a Tata site. In this site, I want to use it for pay as well as for purchasing purpose, and save this particular supplier site here. And after that, we'll go for associate this site, the business unit. Use this auto create button so that system will assign for the business units which are assigned for the current buyer. Let's go for save and close. Our supplier site is ready. We will be able to go for create the address, and invoices also we can go for create. Okay, let's go for submit here. And before that, when we are working with the payment process profile, if we want to filter the data based on pay group and all, we can use one lookup, pay group lookup, and we can keep all our invoices under that group. Let me show you that. The organization says that I would like to make the payment for this suppliers first. I want to filter. Okay, so let's log in as an implementation user here, Finance MPL. There is some sandbox is there, no problem. Let's leave from the sandbox. Sandbox is not an effect for our functional consultants. If there are any technical work we have done, then there might be some changes will impact after completion of the publish. Okay. But anyway, we have exited from the sandbox. Let's go to FSM environment. What I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to work with one of the lookup. Lookup is one of the important thing which we will be using in our financials or human capital, or we'll be working with our supply chain management. Everywhere will work. So these lookups are three types. What are the different types of lookups? Three types of lookups, three categories. One is standard, another one is extensible, another one is user defined. Okay, the moment whenever we go for lookups, for example, right now we are working for payables model, payable lookup. Let's search for this payables. Yeah, yes is missing. Let's go to payables lookup here. There will be a payables lookup, supplier lookups, and other things will find. I'm working for the lookup called Paygroup. So the lookup name is Paygroup. That okay. So after defining this, first thing what we have to do, what type of lookup this is extensible. It means we cannot delete existing values provided by Oracle, but we can add new values to this particular lookup. So those values will be populated over here. Okay, so and I'm going to mention that it's a Tata Pay Group. I'm using common set so that it can be assigned for all the business units. Common set. I would like to display in the first place. It is Tata Pay Group. That's what I have specified over here. Go for save and close. And now the lookup is created so that whenever we are going to make the invoice creations, that time we can keep this invoice under this particular pay group. Otherwise, we can include your supplier site under this pay group so that whenever you create an invoice under that pay group, it automatically comes. Let me show you. Let me log in as a buyer so that we can find out. Here, procurement, go to suppliers here. Manage suppliers here, search for your supplier name. Tata Motors, go to supplier site. Go to edit. There is an invoicing tab. Keep this invoicing tab here, and there is an option here, Paygroup. So whatever the values you have mentioned in the lookup, that values will be populated here. So whenever we create any invoice for this particular supplier site, so that invoice under this pay group, that is just for a label which you are trying to give it for the invoices. Okay. So save and close. You can assign this pay group for multiple suppliers. Let's say there is a supplier called daily needs suppliers. So whenever I'm releasing the funds, first priority I want to give it for the daily needs. Whoever is providing the daily needs supplier, for them I would like to go for. So I'll keep them under some pay group. There might be 5 supplier or 10 or 100 members might be there. So first payment will be distributed to them. First payment will be distributed to them. So this is very much required when the organizations are going for big enterprises. Obviously, they'll give priority wise the payments, right? So that so what we have done now, we created a pay group in the lookup and we have associated the supplier side comes under this particular pay group. Okay. So if you want to make other any of suppliers also under this pay group, no problem. What you can do is let me take advanced corporation. I'm taking this supplier also, the supplier sites, and go for edit. I'm going to keep this supplier also, the supplier site also under this particular pay group. Choose this here. Let's go for save and close. So that whenever we are running the payment process request, if we choose this pay group, obviously system will search for the invoices which are created for Tata Motors as well as for Advanced Corporation because both the supplier sites are associated for that pay group, right? That's the reason. Okay, let's log out from here. I'm going to create a couple of invoices for the Tata Motors and one invoice for Advanced Corporation. Advanced Corporation has got a lot of other invoices, but those all not comes under this pay group, right? Let me just log in as a transactional user. Let me raise invoices here. Go for invoices here. Let me choose the business unit, both suppliers under the same business unit. So I'm creating a couple of invoices here for Tata Motors. for the lines here. The invoice is validated successfully. Let me cross check any approvals are enabled for this business unit. Here, system is showing that approval is required and accounted is not done. So let me cross check out force approval option is there or not. Click on this force approval option is there. So manually we are going to approve it, and let's go for create accounting transactions here. How to find this invoice is created under this particular pay group. So the moment when we create accounting transactions, or even before itself, will system will automatically pick that particular category. When I go to manage installments tab, here we can find payment method, installments details. In case if at all we are going for payments in the installment wise, then we will be using this options over here. Okay. So here what we can do is go to manage installments. First option we can find here, pay group. And of course, payment method is check. It's there. Let's go for, let me create another invoice for the same supplier side. Going to choose the business unit as US1. Supplier is $2,000. Let me enter the line information here. To select distribution set so that system will automatically prepare the accounting information as well as the distributions here. I'm going for validate this. Validated, and after that we will go for force approval here. Select this. I'm going for accounts creation. Don't need to verify pay group because same supplier site we are using. Obviously, it will be selected by the system automatically. Now we are going for next invoice. This is Tata 1 and Tata 2. Another invoice. This time we'll change the supplier. Advanced Corporation. Choose the supplier name and supplier site. And I'm mentioning this Advanced 1 here. So let's say 3,000. Let me go with the invoice here. 3,000. Let me choose a distribution set here. Go for save this invoice here. After that, go for validate this. Can check the installments here. By default, it comes under the same Tata Pay Group, and payment method. I'm going to select check here. Electronic, I don't want. I would like to go with the check payment method. Select here. Go for save and close here. Let me go for the another invoice here. Accounting as, let's do this post to ledger context. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create one more invoice for the same supplier site, but this time I'll remove this pay group from here. Save and create next. I'm going to remove from here. It is going to put it as check payment only. That's fine. So that this invoice should not pick up. System should not pick up this invoice when you try to do it payment process request. Let's go for save and close. So what we have done now, 4 invoices has been created here. Let's go for save and close. Now let's go for work with the payment process request. So if you want to distribute the single payment each time, then we can go with the payment option. But at a time, I wanted to select multiple invoices and distribute the payment. Then we are going to use this. Okay. So let's go for submit payment process request. We can also prepare a template here. So next time, whenever you want to run this payment process request, no need to choose the properties, means selection criteria, bank details, account details. This all we don't need to choose every time. So we can prepare a template and this template can be selected here. Both are same. Let me go for create a template here. Payment process request template. I'm going to create a new template here. So here there will be 2 tabs. One is the selection criteria, means how you want to select the invoices for making the payments, and then payment and processing options, how you would like to go for make the payments, how you would like to process the payments to your suppliers. 2 tabs will be there. So I'm mentioning that this is for Tata Pay Group template. Okay, and the type is daily or loans or EFT. So let's say I'm going to put it as loans here. And here we can choose the selection criteria based on the priority, payment priority, or date-wise pay date. Date-wise means whatever the due dates are pending that we can choose, or you can choose the pay group here. This is what we are working right now. You can select all pay groups, currency wise, you can control, filter, business units, legal entities, sources, or you would like to go for a based on some supplier. There are some contractors, there are some government suppliers. For them, we want to pay first. Insurance company suppliers are there, manufacturing, public sector. Okay, different subcontractors are there. For them, I want to pay it first or based on this payment, whatever. Or you can also choose your particular supplier or based on payment method you can choose. Right now, I want to make the payments for my suppliers who are under Tata Pay Group. Whatever the invoices are there for that. So what I can do is I'm going to choose here my pay group, Tata Pay Group. Okay, so system will filter that. There are 4 invoices are created, but for one invoice we have removed the pay group. So system should not pick that particular invoice. How about the payments? From which bank account you are going to make the payment? What is the payment document, payment process profile? In our previous classes, we have seen how we will be making the payments, right? When we are going to make the payment, from which bank account, what is the payment document, payment process profile, this is all right. Same information we are providing here. So bank account, I'm going to use Bank of America 2869. Bank of America 2869. That's the bank account I'm going to use it. And payment document, let me choose this check, and payment process profile. We are going to use, you can choose any, let me go with standard check format that I'm going to use it, and apply credit up to zero amount payment. In case if there are any credit memo or debit memos are there, you want to go for apply, those can be applied. Do you want to review the installments? If we have any installments can be enabled here. Do you want to go for review the proposed payments? Yes. After completion of that, you want to create payment files. So during this processing of this payment, do you want to monitor all this? Then we can go for enable these checkboxes. System will allow us to go through each and every step while making the payment. How about any records are failed? How you will handle it? So reject all the documents for pay in case if there are any payments are rejected, then we'll go for failure. It reject only payments with errors. So this is document wise and this is payment wise. Reject only payments with errors. So if there are any errors, then only we want to go for reject. Okay. Now let's go for save and close. This is just a template. We are not submitting right now. We just prepared a template so that when the organizations wants to run this startup pay group, next time they don't need to choose every time these options. What they can do is while making the payment process request, simply select this particular tool here. It is now submit payment process request here. See, here is a template. So manually we can select every time or we can simply choose the template. So two options we have here. Tata pay group options we selected payment template, right? Now we can find all the values has been retrieved here, pay group and payment and processings. We can give some name for this payment process request and we can start execution of this. You must provide a value for the name attribute. Okay, this is data payment process request. And go to the tab here and we can find all our bank details, what we have selected here. Okay, let's go for submit. To manage payment process request. Now this is our payment request process. So installment selection, pending installment review. System has already selected 3 invoices. Actually 4 invoices, right? But one invoice we have removed. Okay, one invoice we have removed. Here it is. Now click actions button here. We just wanted to review that installments because we enabled the checkbox. That's why system is waiting for our review. In case if there are any invoices are rejected, we will find those rejected invoices over here. Now we can see that system has picked from Tata Motors 2 invoices and one is from Advanced Corporation. This because of our pay group. You can also find any invoices which are not selected due to our selection criteria and we'll come to know the reason also. And if there are any foreign currency transactions, currency conversion rate type also we can find over here it is. Let's go for submit. We said yes, all the invoices selected is perfect. Now system is calculating any withholding tax is there for those supplier sites. We have already discussed about withholding tax invoices. We have seen implementation setups which are required for both withholding tax as well as for the interest invoices in our previous sessions. Now system is calculating that. Are there any withholding tax or interest invoices? Interest invoice will automatically based on our payment term. So now the pending proposed payment is review. So payment validation stage right now, status is review is pending because we said we wanted to review the payment also when we are going to make the payment here. Now we can see that Advanced Corporation, $3,000 we are going to make the payment. Tata Motors, 3,000. Tata Motors, both two invoices, right? Two invoices for the Tata Motors and only one invoice for Advanced Corporation. Total 6,000. Two payments has been created here successfully. Two payments has been created here. See, Tata 1 and Tata 2. If I click on this payments, we can find corresponding documents here. For that payment will be done for which documents it is showing here. Showing advanced one. And now I would like to go for resume the payment process. The system is going to start the payment process here. Internally, some programs will be executed when these processes are happening. If we would like to view in case of any errors that we can find out from tools menu, scheduled process. We can see that system has selected first payables, selected installment report, bill the payments, payment process status report, bill payments, format payment, here it is. We can find bill payment programs here and then corresponding status report. And see any errors are there, we can find the log file here and now the status report. Now we'll go for set the status as payment. Now let's go for, if we look at the invoices right now, whatever the invoices we have prepared, what is the status of the payment? Last 24 hours, 6 invoices are created. Let me go through. Tata 1, say still not paid. Tata 2, not paid. Advanced 1, not paid status. Because we have not marked as a paid. We just generated the payment files. Let's go to payments here. If we look at the payment status here, you can also go through here, Tata payment process request. It's formatted and ready for printing. You can go through here directly. Now this is your payment document. This is your bank account. And this is our check printing. Total documents needed for printing, 2. If there is any printer setup is done, then it will go for it and go for print. Refresh. Now the moment payment process requests here, waiting for payment file processing. Let's go for refresh here. This is our payment document number 4035 4036. 4035 and 4036. Two documents has been done here. We can search from here also. It works. We'll go for manage payment process request. Click search button here. Now we can see that payment file is processing, submitted for printing. Now we have the option record print status. In case if at all you want to go for reprint, you can go for print. Submitted for printing, we can view the information here. And we can see that which format, check format system has selected. This is our check format, $3,000 for the supplier. This is our invoice number. This is Tata Motors. This is Advanced Corporation. So generally organizations will have pre-stationary format options. Okay. Now we'll check the invoice status. Let's go to invoices page. Let me check the previous invoices here. Now see that still not paid status because we have not recorded. Just now I have shown you, right? Payments are not recorded. Let's go to payments here and click on this payment process request. Done. Submitted for printing. We need to record it. Record print status. Submit. Record the print status. Now click done button. After this, let's verify the status here. Let's go to navigator. Go back to your invoices. See, it is fully paid. Tata 1, Tata 2, and Advanced 1 fully paid status. So the moment when we record the payment status, that time only it will update that yes, payment has done successfully. This is about the payment process request will be done based on the pay group. You can have based on the supplier, based on the payment method, or based on the invoice group, based on the supplier type. We have seen different types of selection criteria, right? That so here very important the different statuses, how the system is going to build, what are the programs will be submitted in the sequence order. This is very important. Okay, thank you.